Well, hello. Welcome back to How to Podcast Series. It's a roundup of all of the responses that have come in to our question of the month for the month of November. I know you're busy. I know there's turkey and pumpkin pie, and for our vegan friends, the non-turkey version of turkey. Pumpkin pie, I think, is still okay. But Thanksgiving is come and gone. And as you pat your belly, hope you had a great time with family. I hope that everyone behaved themselves around the political conversations around the dinner table, and that we were able to have a good time with Uncle Steve and Aunt Mary and little Johnny. Oh, little Johnny. What a mess he leaves every time he leaves. But little Johnny was here too, and I hope you had a great time together with family as we now turn our attention. Oh boy. Our credit cards are really going to be worn out, but Christmas is coming and all that time of year. Time to buy a lot of presents. Right. But before we get into that whole side of the world, we do have the answers to the question of the month. And the question for November was pretty simple. Themed towards Thanksgiving, which happens in November, happens in October for Canadians like me. But we do want to acknowledge our vast amount of U.S. listeners for the How to Podcast series and honor you as we look at the question of the month, which incorporates Thanksgiving in a little bit, where the question was, how do you incorporate themes of gratitude and reflection into your podcast content? What are you doing to identify your gratitude for your listeners, your reflections, your thankfulness? How does that work its way into your content? And I thought I'd share with you some of the responses that have come in for the How to Podcast series. And these are the people who have responded to the question of the month. And a reminder, we do this not only to hear your answer, we want to hear your words, but we want to promote your podcast. And that happens every month through the question of the month. So, you ready? Here we go.
Welcome. You've got mail.
Hi, this is Bill Monty, host of the podcasts Bill Monty's Guide for Getting Older and Tales from South Florida. I'm delighted to be invited to answer the November question for Dave and the How to Podcast series. That question being, how do you incorporate the themes of gratitude and reflection in your podcast? First, I am so grateful to anyone and everyone who takes the time out of their busy lives to listen and to support my podcast. I know that you have a lot of choices to listen to when you're driving or exercising or working around the house, wherever and whenever you consume the podcast that you listen to. So on each episode, I say thank you. I ask you to become a part of the show, to comment, to share your thoughts about a particular episode or the podcast as a whole, to become a part of my community. Because without you, well, there really is no point in working to create this content each week. So thank you. Thank you for your support, for sharing my shows, for supporting podcasts, whether it's mine or someone else's, because you are important to all of us. Additionally, on Season 2 of Bill Monty's Guide for Getting Older, I am reflecting on the lessons that life teaches us as we age. Each episode looks at issues like legacy, finding your one day, the strength of empathy, self-care, and appreciating our parents, who in some cases might be us. In short, Season 2 is about gratitude and reflection about you and for those you know and those that you care for. I hope that you'll join me on Bill Monty's Guide for Getting Older and TalesFromSouthFlorida.com. I am so looking forward to you becoming a part of my podcast family. I wish all of you a healthy and happy holiday season, whatever you celebrate. And as I do at the end of every podcast episode, I close out by reminding you to please be safe and be kind. Thanks, Dave. See you on Saturday.
So there you go. That was my one response for the month of November. One, people, come on. Bill showed all of you guys up by being my single response to the question of the month for November. Now, I know November for our U.S. friends is Thanksgiving. You're busy. I got it. But we're going into December. It's going to even get more busy for a lot of us. More busy? Is that proper? I guess so. We're going to all get busy as we... Well, that sounded weird. We're all going to be busier. There we go. Dave, stick with it. As we jump into December. And wherever you are in this big world of ours, I want to wish you a great end of the year as we look towards 2025. Some great things ahead for you and for me as we look ahead to what's coming for our podcast in this new year. And as Bill alluded to, on Saturdays, we get together with other podcasters, just like you. We talk podcasting. We're here to help each other. We're here to build each other up and give each other support. So if you are looking for support in your podcast journey, you're like, Dave, I podcast by myself. My partner doesn't care about podcasting. My kids think podcasting is weird. My boss at work tells me to stop talking about podcasting and get back to work. How rude is that? I just don't have anybody to talk podcasting with. I feel so alone. Well, before you go buy a volleyball and call him Wilson and move to an island, you could join our meetups on Saturdays. And you're like, oh, Dave, how much does that cost? Cha-ching. Wait, how about free? How about free? It costs me money, but it doesn't cost you a penny to come and be a part of a great podcasting community on Meetup. So enough of this Clubhouse. Remember Clubhouse? Remember Clubhouse where you just talk into your phone and you don't see anybody's video? See them in person. You're like, they have little avatars and you don't even know if they're real. Whatever. How about seeing real people on screen through Zoom for free every Saturday and during the week here and there where we get together and talk podcasting? Come on. Enough complaining about the fact that you're so lonely in podcasting. If you don't respond to our Saturday meetups, if you don't respond to our question of the month and get new listeners for your podcast, that's kind of on you in a loving way. That's on you. These are opportunities for you to get in front of other podcasters, get in front of listeners, get in front of fellow people in the trenches doing what you do and learning together. If that's interesting to you at all, then I need you to respond by going to the howtopodcast.ca website. Everything you need is there. The December question of the month will be released as well. So please go check that out and participate in the question of the month for December. Come on. It can't just be Bill. Bill, I love you and thank you for doing this. We need people to support Bill by also answering the question of the month. Bill's making us all look bad, everybody. Come on. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the show. I really appreciate you being here and being part of this community. Looking forward to a great 2025 with you. And if you need any help with your podcast, howtopodcast.ca is where to find me. And I'd love to be a part of your community and your story as you start, grow, continue podcasting in 2025. Thanks for listening. And Bill, hey, thanks for responding. Yeah. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.